We are going to take this cute little, just one of these little, oh, my brain just went suddenly. All I could think of, I'm going to make a pumpkin out of this little piece right here. It's been a morning, so just forgive me if I seem a little crazy. That's nothing unusual for me. We are going to take and go ahead and paint it up. So I'm going to go ahead and do the stem, and I'm going to go ahead and paint out over to here a cutting board, y'all. This is just a decorative cutting board. It wouldn't be used for food. So we're just going to make it cute. And I thought I saw a pumpkin when I saw it. So they have a few things mixed around in the store at the Hobby Lobby that you can get on sale. So I kind of always look for those little orange stickers and see if I can find some good buys. And we're just going to go ahead and paint this up in a brown. And I mixed a little bit of the chai paint latte and the chocolate souffle. These are Paint Pixie colors. And I'm an affiliate for Paint Pixie, so I will put that in the comments. But I thought y'all would enjoy just seeing something quick and easy, and something maybe you hadn't thought of using before for a pumpkin. You can make pumpkins all kinds of sizes. They don't have to all be round. It's about creating and using what you have and what you like. So you can cut these out yourself out of wood. You can find them, you can order them, you can find them at different stores. Just pick you up some, look for them to be on sale. A lot of these things are marked down. They mark some of them down after the spring, and sometimes you can find that. So I'm just going to paint around this little piece of jute. I'm not going to worry about taking it out. We're just going to leave it right in there and just paint that up. And I'm just going to leave it brown for right now. Looks like it might need just a little bit more of the dark brown. So I'm going to just streak a little bit of that in there. Just kind of blend it in a little bit. Doesn't have to be anything perfect. This is all about creating. And if you're creating, do you, whatever colors you like, whatever you like to do. And then you can always go back and paint over it if it's not the color you want. We're going to be putting some greenery and things on there, so we're not going to worry about that. We're going to let that just dry up. We're not going to worry about the back side. You could use this on a tree for an ornament. You could use it hanging on a knob, or you could just use it just as a shelf sitter. So that's probably what I'll do. I don't know if I'll keep the jute in there or not, but right now I'm going to leave it in there till we kind of decide. We're going to paint over this writing. And I have mixed the candied papaya and some Aperol spritz in the Paint Pixie. We mixed those two together. We got a real pretty kind of a deep orange, and I may have to add a little bit more of the lighter color. Let me see how dark this comes out on here. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more of the April spritz. So welcome for those of you that are joining me. Just thought I would come on real quick and show you this. And if you're watching my replay, be sure and drop me a message and a comment and let me know. You can also follow me on some other platforms. But please subscribe to my channel. I would very much appreciate it. So this is a little lighter. I like that a little bit better, and I don't mind a little dark orange, and we may have to do 2 coats because of the writing. I could have put another coat of something else on the bottom, but I think we're going to be fine with just a couple of coats of this on here, and it probably will just give it a cover up without a problem. We'll dry it and put another coat on. I am using a Paint Pixie brush, and this one's called a Picola. This is a great little brush. I love the way these brushes are when you create with them. They have a good coating. Put a good coating of paint on your project. So let me get a little bit more of this paint. And I may have to mix up just a little bit more when we do another coat. I'm going to put just a little bit more of that orange. The apricot spritz. But I like this color. It's just a little different than you may want to use. You also could crackle on top of this if you'd like. That's another look that you could do. Totally up to you. We could go ahead and crackle it. Let's see how we like it and see what we think. I'm going to add just a spritz of water because sometimes your paint gets a little dry in the summertime. It kind of gets dry quick, and so you can just add a little bit of water to it. Chalk paint loves some water, so that is not going to hurt it at all. That's going to help you blend a little bit more, or you can spritz your brush just as well. So give your brush a little spritz of water. And I do use distilled water just because I don't want, if I had to put paint back in my jar, I would not want to be using regular water because it can mold. So we're just going to go ahead and get that painted up and see how that looks. Then we'll add some embellishments to it. And we might not want a crackle. We might want it to look just like this. And just add some things to it. I do have some little small decals that I got one time. I believe they came from the dollar store. So let's dry that up and let's put another coat on. Let's see what we think. I do also have some copper out here, and I might put a little copper on it. So let me mix just a little bit more. So that was candy papaya and the Aperol Spritz. Now I think I might add just a little bit of copper to it and put that on top. Let's see how that's going to look. Let's lighten this up just a little bit and maybe add just a tad of that copper. It's called New Penny. And this is a beautiful, beautiful color as well. It's kind of got a little shimmer to it. Got a little brownish orange in there. Let's put just a tad of that out. And I may just do a little bit of that on it. Get a little bit out of our bottle. There we go. All right. Let's mix these others up. I'm just taking a little stick and just mixed them on my palette. And let's put just a little bit of that copper in right here, that New Penny. And let's see how we like that. It's got just a little bit, it'll have a little bit of shimmer. We may put that on top if it's not enough. And this is probably, sometimes you get a little ooky. Just get that off if you get a little ooky on it. That just happens in your paint sometimes. And we might put a little of that copper on top. Let's see how that's going to look. Let's see after we get this coat on what we think. That's going to cover that writing pretty well. You can still see it just a little bit, but I think once we get the embellishments on there, it'll be fine. Are y'all seeing a pumpkin? That's what I was seeing. So hopefully you're seeing a little bit of that. So let's take a little bit of that copper. I'm just going to put it in my brush. I'm going to dry this just a little bit. Hope everybody's having a good day. Hey, Deborah. Good to see you. Hello, Sky. Good to see you today. So we're just going to give it a little bit of a dry. And we're going to put a little, I like that copper like that. Yes, we're going to put just a little bit of that copper right in there. So when you do your crafting, just do you. Just do you. However you like, that's what you can do. Let me get just a little bit more of the copper. The New Penny. It's kind of a coppery color. And I can use some of that on the sides too, since I poured a little bit much. I'm just going to get a little bit off, and I'm just going to dry brush that down. And I'm going to put a little bit right here on the sides as well. We've got some out. Let's go ahead and use it. Let's go ahead and use it. While we have it, we'll just go ahead and use that up. Give it a little copper on the sides as well. Always just do what you like. Do what you like. Be sure and share this video out. I would appreciate that. Got a little bit on my brown there, but look how much different that looks. See the shimmer? I like that shimmer. That just gave it a whole different look, didn't it? Now I'm going to take a little bit of that brown and put back right here where I got a little bit over. It's going to be fine. Just like that. Now we're going to dry that up. See the copper? I love that look. That looks good. I see a little place right here on the edge. Let's put just a tad there. There we go. And I just kind of dry brushed it very lightly on. You could use a dry brush or the brush that you have and just do it lightly. And that's going to give you that little bit of dry brush look. Hello, good to see y'all today. Let's be kind with our comments. You could put a little green on that stem if you wanted a little bit of green. So I have been creating for years. And I just started going live about a little over 3 years ago. And I just started my YouTube channel years ago, but I haven't done a lot with it. So I started coming on to do some creating with you. Let's get this good and dry because I may or may not use these little transfers. Just something inexpensive. I've got a little piece of trim that I made. This is one of the molds that I made. And I used the same company, Paint Pixie, makes this. It's called Pixie dough. And it's like marshmallow cream. And it comes out like marshmallow cream. And when you put it in your mold, it dries pretty quickly. Or you can put it in the freezer for 20 minutes, which is what I like to do. And then I made this little mold. And I think I'm going to cut some of that and put toward the bottom, because I think that will look good on there. It's just got some little swirls. Some little swirls. And the good thing about this, it bends all the time, so it never gets too dry. And you just cut off what you want. If you've got too much, just cut it off a little bit. So I'm just going to trim that off. And we're going to put that right down here at the bottom. Doesn't have to be anything perfect or be the pattern exactly, just do you. We're going to use some Tite Bond. I am, Denise. I am. So we're going to put a little bit of our Tite Bond glue on here. That is the best thing for your molds, is some good wood glue. You can use a little E6000 or a B7000 if you want. I just put just a tad of hot glue just to hold it right now. We're just going to put that on there. And that's just going to give it another look. And we're going to paint that, but I'll probably kind of dry brush maybe a little bit of that new penny on there. Isn't that pretty? So we're going to let that just sit a minute before we paint. I've got these. These come from the dollar store. Nothing expensive, but they do look cute on there. So we might take and do one of those. Let me just cut out the piece I want. Makes it a little easier than trying to do the whole big thing. You're just going to peel it off. If you've never done a transfer before, they're not hard at all. I'm just going to put this one right here, because we'll probably put another one on. Then you're just going to take a stick, or you can take one of the little sticks like this. This came with some bigger transfers that I have. And then you're just going to put it on. Now you can put some wax underneath it if you like. Just kind of do mine like this. Sometimes they turn out, sometimes they don't, but just do the best that you can. You just kind of check it and make sure that it's coming off. These are pretty easy right here. These are pretty easy. If you still see some on your background when you pull it up, that means you didn't get it on good. And go ahead and just put it back down, and then you should be able to pick that back up. They are pretty easy to do when they're small. Just kind of peel them up easy, and if you don't see anything and you're seeing it getting a little bit opaque, then that means that it's working. Easy peasy. Just like that. Isn't that pretty? So let's cut some green ones now. I think we need a green one on there. At least one green one. I like this little green one right here. Let's put this one. It's just easier if you go ahead and cut them out before you put them on there, and then you've got a little easier to pull your paper off. So just find you an end and just take it just like this. Be careful with it. Don't touch any of your print. And then just put it here on your surface. And do the same thing. This is a pretty easy, something you could do with your grandchildren or at school or in a church class, anything like that. They would love to do some artwork for their parents. You just want to get your little edge here. You see I still have some on that, so that didn't go down all the way. So let's go back. And you can see when it's actually ready to take off because it will be more opaque than your picture. So you just have to get the very edge. If you can't get it with your nail, take you a little pair of tweezers, or they've got little picks you can get that'll work. You can even get those at the dollar store as well. So we're just going to do this very easily. Get the rest of the way off. That one came off easy. Now, what you do with your piece of paper that you used, you're going to go back and you're just going to burnish it just like this, and this is going to help your edges not look like edges, so it looks like it just blends in just like that. See how easy that was? Now let's take a little bit of that penny color paint. I've got another brush here. I like to go ahead and use just a little bit of water just so my paint will flow a little bit. And let's get a little bit of that color and let's just paint this up a little bit. Just using some of the paint I already had out here. Kind of highlighting a little bit, doing a little bit on the background, but mostly just highlighting what is on our mold here. And we may not even have to get any more paint out. This may work. So I just put a little bit on the edges, just kind of fill that in, but it's okay if you see a little bit of white, or you can paint it all the way to where you don't see any of that. So it's totally up to how you like it. I am going to go ahead and put a little bit here on the top. And that just brought it into another dimension. But easy crafting. Easy crafting. You can do this. Hey, Alexander. Hello. Hey, Alexandria. Good to see you. I'm good. Hope you're well today and ready for the weekend. I am just filling that in just a little bit. A little bit on the sides and a little bit on our bottom. And I think I'm gonna like it just like that. I might put a little wax or some oxide or something on it, but I'm kind of liking that just like that. So we're gonna leave that, and we're gonna go ahead and put some greenery and some other little things here at the top. And I'm just going to cut some greenery off here. This is just a little berry bush. And I'm just going to put a few pieces of that. And hopefully we have enough glue. My glue already ran out, but I think it's hot enough to where we'll be able to use it for a little bit. These Ryobis run out pretty quick. I'm just going to put a little greenery like that. We may put a little piece of this greenery on there. Let's get a little piece of it. This will make it look more like a pumpkin. And then I've got a couple little berries. I think we'll use those to put on there. This just came off of a bush that you can get at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, any of those little stores. Just comes just like this. It's actually like a candle ring, but you can find them on sale, and then you can use what's in there. So I'm going to put a few of those on there, and then we might put these little pip berries on there. So take your little pip berries. You can take a pencil or whatever you've got, and you can kind of just put your wire just like you want. Just curl it up a little bit, just like that. Then it has a little spindle. And I think I'm going to put that on there. I like that too. Decide which side I want to put it on. I think I'll put it right here. Just going to put a little bit more glue. Our glue is already kind of dry there. Put a little bit more glue in there. And I think that's all you need. So there you go. There's our little pumpkin out of a cutting board. Does it look like a pumpkin? Hey Luann, good to see you today. Hello. Supposed to rain here all day tomorrow, y'all. I know. We are going to go somewhere tonight for a little while, so at least we'll be able to get ahead of a little bit of rain. It might sprinkle a little bit, but hopefully it'll do well. Y'all think we need a little wax on this? We may just need a little bit of wax around, so let's try a little bit of that. Let me find what I did with my wax. I put everything up, trying to be good and put everything up, but I found it. Let's put just a tad on there so that will give it just a little bit, just a little bit. Thank y'all for supporting and subscribing to my channel. I appreciate that. I'm going to put just a tad. I don't think I want a lot, just a little bit to highlight that just a little bit. Take a little bit off. And that's just going to give it just a little bit more of something, something. A little something, something. I'm going to put a little bit here on our stem as well, and a little bit in here. That's just going to give it a little bit more of a look. Did y'all like the copper on there? Y'all let me know in the comments. I really love the copper. That just kind of gave it a new look. But I saw this today and I said, I see a pumpkin. The lady said, what do you do with these? And I told her, I said, you can use them to craft with and make you some little pumpkins. So there we go. I think it came out really cute. Simple, easy, but cute. You could put a little bit round on these pumpkins that you've got on here if you want to, just to add a little bit. That's going to highlight those just a little bit as well. I didn't put any more wax in, just using what is in my brush. And this is Best Stain Wax in Brown by Dixie Belle. And I kind of like the way that looks. I'm going to put that back up. And that's what I have for you today. So I hope that you enjoyed my little quick video. You'll have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. Thank you for being here and thank you for supporting my page. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you.